2 car as the art car comes in for a late change, just missing out on the restart.
And we were trying to outguess Audi, saying that Loic Duval will take the finish, but he won't be able to now. He's just gone back in the car. He cannot drive for more than 4 hours, so unless they do another 2 driver changes, he won't finish the race.
There'll be one more, and it will be Christensen that gets in, and he will cross the line and dedicate the victory to Alan Simonsen.
Yeah, that's a good prediction.
40,000 Danes here this weekend, and a lot of them come to see Tom Christensen try and get his 9th win, which is looking good at the moment, but all those 40,000 would be saddened by death of their countryman Alan Simonsen. Although he lived in Australia most of the time, still a very proud Dane.
Yes, and a friend of Tom Christensen. I know that they were keeping the news from Tom at Audi for some time. I can't believe he doesn't know now, as Sebastian Tiffer was pointing out. They're running the Danish flag at half-mast on the podium as we speak, and well, maybe that would have posed a question. Certainly, in terms of strategy, Tom is going to be getting in the car and doing it for his friend Alan Simonsen for the final run, so hence the change to Loic Duval. They've got the cushion they need, and they may well carry this without error, and of course that's a difficult thing to predict here, unfortunately. It's Porsches 1 and 2 just for now. Darren Turner is on board the Aston 97. That's that beautiful blue and white liveried day and night art car. We'll see. We are expecting at least one of the Porsches to stop fairly shortly, which will presumably put Darren Turner, has just made the pass on Bernard, who I think is pitting right now. We'll take a break.
Martin de Darren Turner, il y a 10.
Lucas, box this lap, box for fuel only.
Welcome back to Eurosport. You're live here in France, West France. It's 10:33 in the morning here. It's 9:33 at home, in case you hadn't noticed. Haven't had your breakfast yet, walked the dog, had your coffee. It's Mark Coe with Damien Faulkner and Carlton Kirby here as we're watching all the action, having just come out of our 10th safety car period. And Damien, more than 4.5 hours of running behind the safety car. That's so demoralizing for race drivers.
Yeah, and race fans alike. I think everybody, we don't want to see safety cars at all, to be honest, but we've had an awful lot of barrier penetrating incidents, and it's taken them a lot of time to repair those barriers.
In the Straka Racing HPD machine, it's been a really tough race for you, having to start quite a ways down the grid, which you weren't planning on, all the difficult conditions, but you clawed your way back. You're right there underneath the LMP1 cars now.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a water pressure issue since about an hour and a half into the race, so ultimately our pace wasn't there against Rebellion, but we managed to stay out of trouble. It's been very tricky. I mean, there's been a lot of safety cars. My night stint, my temperature in my tyres dropped, so I couldn't get them back, so it was a bit of a matter of survival, and poor Danny's had about 3.5 hours worth of safety cars, so, but we're still in the race and we're running around, and I think we'll be happy with this result if we can finish as it is.
So what's going to be the plan for the rest of the race? I know just keep it tidy, but are you getting back in?
We'll see. It all depends on safety car, really. I mean, with every safety car, the strategy moves forward, so I'd like to get it at the end, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, good luck. Thanks, Nick.
The rain is back, and we've got a Toyota spinning there. Which one was that, David?
7 car, Nakajima.
That's Nakajima, the third place car. Just caught out by the rain, looks quite harmless, but the rain is here with a vengeance on the other side of the circuit. And look, everyone going, oh my goodness. Nearly took out the Matt Porsche there. Wow, Nakajima-san.
Yeah, I think he lost it there very, very early into the left-hander there. And wow, just across the pose of the Porsche there at unabated speed. Very fortunate there.
I would love to see that again in slow motion, because that was very close.
And that was our GTM AM leader. Imagine he'd landed on top of him. Of course.
Well, speared him in the driver's side as well. Would have been a nightmare.
Kazuki, of course, son of Satoru Nakajima, the famous Formula One hero of the 80s and early 90s, and trying not to emulate his father.
Okay, Kazuki? Everything okay? I think so. It's quite wet, sector 1. Copy, sector 1 wet.
What a way to find out.
Yeah. Now, why would the Japanese team not talk to their driver in Japanese?
We wouldn't be able to understand it.
Good point, Damien. Good point. In comes the number 3 car. We were just looking forward to having a little run for a while between the 3 and 2 cars, but this one's had to come in for service. Change the bottles. No tyres at the moment scheduled to be changed. These Michelins, as we've heard, can run up to 5 stints this year. So impressive are they. And Carlton, you know, we've had a lot about the tyres, about barcodes, but I'm told quite reliably you can tell the intermediate slicks by having a wider white band around the tyre. So it's not these.
There we are.
So you can put your barcode reader away.
Yeah, the barcode reader is actually for the manufacturers to know which vehicle they were on, what time they went on. It actually acknowledges the tyre, and then it will be taken for analysis later on. So yes, it's all part of the process.
New tyres not required. They go back in the garage, ready for the next check. They come in, and here I should think this is Martin Plowman in the 35 car. Have I called that right? Yes, indeed it is. And the Morgan Nissan Oak Racing. Okron is the manufacturer now. Jack Nicolay bought out Henri Pescarolo, and what was Pescarolo has morphed now into Okron. Cars are built here at the Techno Park at Le Mans, and nice run for Martin Plowman. I think you watch it. You know Martin well.
I know Martin. Yeah, he raced a prototype last year in the LMS Championship. But what an event these two cars, these teammates are having. They've been 1-2 for forever.
Yeah, it's incredible. Alex Brundle, Martin Plowman gives us 2 British drivers. We've got another change there. What's happened with the Zytek? Michael Krum's taken that. Yeah, so he's just taken a pit stop. And he will come out and then set about Roman Rusinov.
15 seconds separate Mark Lieb and Darren Turner after the number 91 Porsche took on Jörg Bergmeister. Lieb and Turner then together. Essentially, we'll see whether the Aston has got the pace and indeed the ability to get by the number 92 Porsche. We have, of course, as you know, lost 2 Astons here. And indeed one driver.
We were just seeing how wet it was from the rear view camera of the Corvette. You could see absolutely nothing behind except a couple of headlights of that Ferrari lurking out of the gloom. Hopefully we'll see that again in a moment. But here is a Corvette sandwich between 2 Italian slices of bread.
Yes, and I've got to tell you, I'm just waiting to get the pro battle in just a few moments time. This is for positions 5 and 6 we're looking at right now. That is Milner on board the Corvette versus Kobayashi, and there's the swap of place right now, and the Ferrari's taking it. Oh, look at this. Ferrari's helping each other out. That's a roadblock.
Yeah, well, that 51 car, of course, is the lead Ferrari in the race. That's Matteo Malucelli on board now. Matteo really called in at very, very much at the last moment, blindingly quick, and Jeremy and others will tell you here is a star in the making for the future. He's showing that car with Fisichella and Bruni, and that car at the moment running 5th in GT, just behind Tommy Milner. Was behind, he's just passed him, hasn't he? So, and Magnussen coming up as well. So the Corvettes, as we get towards the end of the race, steady pace. They haven't got the straight line speed, but they're moving up the order board.
Look at this, locked together in a train. Can he get any kind of aero here on that Corvette? A little bit of assist perhaps. It's a long old drag down, but the 74 car just can't make the pass at the moment.
No, but he's getting the toe he needs.
Yeah,
That's probably been the quickest he's been the whole race down that straight, because he got that toe.
Well, that looks like a very slow Aston that they're just passing by right now.
Let's just hope that is not the Darren Turner car. I think it'll be one of the, maybe it's
Stuart Hall on his outlap, I think, on board the 96 car is my guess. So just waiting to come up to temperature.
Stuart on board then. Stuart, along with the rest of the Aston Martin team, very, very mindful of the job they've got to do today in honour of their...
The 97 car, incidentally, that we will be hooking in on is the art car, so it's blue and white, so it's very distinctive, not in the Golf livery at all.
Yep, thank you for that, Carlton. That's very helpful. What have you noticed, Damien?
No, the Bergmeister car just went past. He's in third place at the moment.
Right.
The number 91. We're looking for the number 92. Mark Lieb, who's leading ahead of Darren Turner.
There's the 74 car on board with it. Fantastic sound. Do you have a listen? Lovely. I was hoping for a little bit more of that. I'm desperate for a Corvette.
The V8, the V8 thump.
Ah, fantastic.
As opposed to the Vipers. The Vipers V10 knock.
If you take
4,600 RPM.
Take the exhaust off your Jaguar.
Yeah, I could do, yes. Yeah, I'm quite a big guy, and I would love to get into a sport. I used to have an Elise, of course, and fold myself into that, but they accommodate the larger gentlemen. There we go. We're Damien Faulkner cracking up. Look, I eat the same bacon sandwiches as you. You just
so Milner dives
exercise, clearly.
Milner dives into the pits. Magnussen doesn't, and so Magnussen goes ahead of Milner in the Corvette battle.
Wow, this is fantastic. We have, yes, Milner heading at Magnussen. Milner coming into the pits, actually, at the moment, so Magnussen will probably get that spot back. He is, however, a lap down. Can't do it, yes.
Yep.
Forgive me.
Here's his chance to unlap himself, and but Magnussen, of course, is still owes a pit stop.
We'll be taking a commercial break in just a few moments' time, as... I believe somebody's just walked by us and lit a cigar by the smell of things.
We haven't at the moment got the... where are the Vipers? Just looking for those Vipers. They're starting to stack up behind now. And we've got them in...
Dominic Farnbacher, of course, a good friend of...
so the Vipers the Vipers are running at the moment in 8th and 9th in class, so they're still there. That's the great thing, Damien. They may not have the speed, the American cars, the Corvettes and the Vipers, but they're there, and they're solid and they're reliable.
To be honest, you know, this team has only been going about 12 months or little more. So I think they're doing an astonishing job, especially in the ALMS. But I think, you know, their objective probably coming here is probably to finish the race, I'd say.
Yeah, they're real crowd pleasers, both the Corvettes and the Vipers. Everyone loves them. We're going to take a break. We'll be back here live at Le Mans as we get to 10:45. back at Le Mans, and things still hotting up here. This battle, this incredible battle between the factory Porsche team, who came here probably not as the favourites, but certainly with a strong chance of having a podium place. But they have been dominating GT over the last few hours since they started to sandwich the Aston Martin of Darren Turner, who's in that second place car at the moment, and Jörg Bergmeister's right behind him. Those three cars all on the same lap, 257, and we have got, what, 4 and a bit hours of racing to go. Damien, if you're in the middle of that GT battle, you know there's so long to go still, how would you be coping with it?
Well, you know, it's 4 hours 13 minutes, of course, but it's a sprint. You know, it's been there's almost been 20 hours now, and it's been a sprint. But GT never fails to excite, does it? And we're in for a fantastic battle here, I would imagine.
The crowd.
Darren Turner has his blinkers on, and he's just going to hone in, I'd say, on Mark Lieb. If he pulled a couple of seconds on him on the last lap. He's now got it down to 9 seconds.
It's unbelievable. 9.006. It was as wide as 20 seconds not that long ago. Darren Turner is on an absolute mission at the moment. Not sure how light his fuel load is, whether he's got another stop, but we'll be hooking up with that in just a moment.
No, he's just got into that car not very long ago.
Wow, so he's tanked up and tanking it.
So Malucelli really on a mission. Look at this man's lines. That's in the 51 Ferrari. He's been told, you've got to catch up those cars ahead of you, those Aston Martins, the Ferrari of Kobayashi and the Porsches, and just do the job.
Good God, shadows, sunshine.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
No, I can't. I think this must be from last year.
Yeah, that's funny. That's an overhead shot from a helicopter there, an aerial shot, I should say. And it looks like we've got a bit of sun. I haven't seen that for the whole weekend.
It's remarkable. That is our first glimpse of detailed shadowing that we've had all weekend. Kobayashi, yeah, you heard about flat light. We've had plenty of it. And yes, just to continue the alliteration, we've had plenty of flat tyres as well. Punctures were dogging us. I assume it was down to some of the curb contact that we had. They've actually replaced a number of the curb ripples, if that makes sense. They are removable because they do degrade over time. So they take those raised concrete sections and replace them with new ones, as opposed to just having to resurface the road.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of different ways of getting a puncture. I suppose there's any number of ways, but you know, one that you've just mentioned, the curbs, going over the top of curbs, over the back of them, if they have a leading edge, a 90-degree angle. If it's sharp, there could be little bolts to hold sleeping policemen. That could have an effect, so it could actually rip the tire. And the other obvious one then is just debris from carbon fiber pieces that have been shards, I should say, that have been dissipated in crashes.
Brolly's furled, and they're all going to start warming up and revealing their T-shirts that have been the same ones all week, I'll be bound, a lot of the campus. So it'll be a fruity smell that the drivers in the open cockpits come by.
Copy. Box this lap, fuel only.
There we are, fuel only for Marcel Fassler in the number 1 car.
Yes, unlike Alan McNish, when he made his stop in the number 2 car, handed over to Loic Duval. Of course, what he had to do, Damien, is take the rain tyres that he's on-off and go back onto slicks. We're just reading here now that he's either on slicks or uncut inters. Why would he go onto inters? It's dry now.
Well, I don't even understand why, and we said at the time, actually, that they must have some fantastic information to show that it's going to be very wet. And there was some sort of anonymous clouds over there, really black, coming this way, but it blew over. It was a little bit wet, but not wet enough. In fact, I wouldn't even say any wetter than the beginning of the race when they were all on slicks. So I think the safety car period helped them there big time, because I think that was a wrong choice, a wrong call.
Through the into the Porsche curves, rather, there's a number 3 car. That is the car of Luca de Grassi. It's 3 laps down on the lead Audi of Duval, and it's 2 laps down on 1 lap down on the 2 Toyotas, Stefan Sarazan and Nakajima. De Grassi, then Marcel Fassler, coming back from a long delay. They lost 12 laps last night, changing the sensor on the crankshaft. And then Danny Watts, we've seen some slow-mo stuff of Danny Watts really pushing. Danny in his day is one of the fastest sports car drivers ever. Why he has not been picked up by Audi or Toyota, I don't know, but I'm biased because he comes from my village, Thornborough.
Yeah, Danny's a guy that I've raced against, for sure. A fantastic driver. There's lots of fantastic drivers out there, and as one guy said to me one time, fortune favours few. So not all of us can have a works drive.
Yes, and the two brewers favours Thornham.
Well, yeah, hello Andy from Carlton and Mark. Yeah, keep the hooky on tap.
Thank you very much. There we are. Let's hope there's one waiting for us behind the bar as we speak. What an imagination we have. There, the number one car, Marcel Fassler, in for his regular quickie at this point, and we still look at Toyota running 2 and 3 at the moment. So it's been a strong performance by them, much stronger than perhaps they believed when this race began.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right, and they made the right tyre choice early in the race when conditions are very tricky, as we were told by Michelin last night. Their race director was in here giving us the lowdown on all that, and I mean, conditions have changed. 1 minute it's wet, it's moist, it's damp, it's dry, it's moist again, and so hard to call, Damien, particularly for the car engineer.
Well, just for the viewers, if you've just joined us, what happened at the start of the race was that Toyota chose a different slick tyre. It operated at a lower temperature than the normal one. They have 2 slick tyres available here, both different temperature operated, and so it's fascinating to see actually that we haven't seen that replicated any time since that. So they haven't, I mean, obviously I'd say during the night perhaps they've used the lower temperature tyre, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So at the time, at the start, it was the moist have tyre.
Oh, it was definitely the tyre to have at the time, but you know, like I say, it's been moist since, it's been wet since, but we haven't seen Toyota with that advantage since that.
If you're wondering what that slapping sound was, it was my open hand hitting my forehead after Mark Cole's latest gag.
Right, well, we're just looking at P2 again, and Martin Plowman, Alex Brundle, both in those Morgans. Now, those two Morgans.
36 to Toyota.
36 what? There's 35 seconds on our clock, so that's about right. Just looking at P2, the two Morgans that are running up front, both Nissan engine powered, so is the fourth car, but those Nissans are not by Oreca or Nismo, they are built by Zytek. And John Manchester from Zytek has just come into the cabin. Damien, if you could just, or Carlton, just let John have the headset. John, come and take a seat, and we'll plug you in. It's a major operation. It's John, good morning. How are you?
Fast, how yourself?
Never look better. And thank you, Ian Wagstaff, Zytek's PR man, for bringing you along. For quite a long time, you've had the 35, 24 and 42 cars potentially on the podium. Romain Rustinov's just put himself between at the moment, but am I correct? Zytek obviously originally took the Nissan Super GT engine. You did all the work for it for endurance racing for LMP2.
Yeah.
But when Oreca decided they were going to provide cars, they decided to do their own engines based on the same engine.
Yeah, initially we started the concept with Nismo late 2010. And we started the development program then with them to create the Super GT engine into the LMP2 engine. And for the first year in 2011, we supplied all of those engines. And then 2012, Oreca started to build their own engines. But a lot of the parts within the engines are still manufactured by Zytek.
Fine, so you're still a supplier. So you can practically claim you have a part in all 15 Nissan engines in the race.
Sense of the word,
yeah.
I guess, yeah.
But of course, what's really interesting is the 42 car, because it's a Zytek Nissan.
Indeed. Yeah, the cars have been going well. Both Zyteks were going well until, unfortunately, the Jota car, the car 38, had a suspension problem, which has knocked it back a bit, but they've got that fixed. The guys have done a great job. About 6 laps, I think, we've lost, and that's back up there again. So, still in the running and still going well. Yeah, I'm really pleased.
You're 1-2 at the moment, of course, with
that's excellent. Yeah.
Those engines, and you have a good relationship with Jack Nicolay, obviously, and with
I think we established a good relationship last year. We started working with Oak for the first time, and I think we've we've got a very good sort of relationship going, and they enjoy what we do, and we enjoy what they do.
And I guess if he has a British name on the car, he wanted a British engine, even though it might have Japanese origins.
Well, maybe, yeah.
John, we're going to take a quick break,
sure.
but stay with us.
Indeed.
Because we're going to ask you more about this. I'm going to ask you maybe about the future. LMP1, does that beckon? Back in a moment. You're back live on Eurosport, just watching the 92 Porsche. This is our Pro GTE leader, Mark Lieb, factory driver, on board this Olaf Manti Racing effort. This is the first time at Le Mans for the Manti team, and they're bringing Porsche with the brand new 991, all sorts of changes made to that car. And this is in preparation, of course, for the move to LMP1 next year. And sitting next to me, John Manchester from Zytec, based at Repton, of course, up near Rugby. LMP1's beckoning for Porsche. You've been there before. Any thoughts on going back there one day?
Yeah, we have indeed. There's various things going on at the moment. Obviously, as you know, I think LMP1 is certainly going the energy recovery route, and we've been a leader in energy recovery systems for many, many years. So we have got systems out there that we are looking to probably introduce to LMP1. We're also looking at powertrain options as well, and you may see a Zytec engine and a hybrid system running in LMP1 in the near future.
But not a chassis?
Not a chassis.
That's a step too far now, is it?
I think in the terms of chassis, I think from a chassis perspective, it's very much manufacturer based now. I think it's become very difficult in that term to compete with those people in LMP1. So at the moment, there's no plant on the chassis front, but certainly on the powertrain, we are looking at options, yes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've noticed what an uphill struggle both Rebellion and Straka are having against the factory teams, and it must be very disheartening at times, just to be outpaced every single race. All you can do is hope to win the petrol division.
Indeed, I think you're absolutely right, and of course with Porsche coming in next year, that battle's going to be even harder.
Yeah. So anyway, John, we're just talking about we talk
Porsche curves to start finish, and Tête de Rouge to first chicane. There might be some light drizzle just in those areas for the next two laps.
So light drizzle, that's nothing different from the whole race,
yeah,
the whole
absolutely.
of qualifying, the whole of practice.
Yeah.
Was it 7 red flags, and we've now had 10 safety car periods.
I've never known a Le Mans like it. It's probably been the wettest and the most interrupted Le Mans I've ever known. So.
You've got 3 Zytec cars running here. You've got 4 Zytec fully prepared Nissan engines, and as you said, you've got parts of Zytek and all the other Nissan engines. As a strategist, how do you cope with this race?
It's quite difficult. I guess a lot of our training comes from single make racing. We've sort of got, you know, engines running in Moscow at the moment in the Renault series. There's 28 engines in that. So, you know, you just bring some of that over to running it at Le Mans, and okay, we've only got 7 engines, but a lot of the same principles are applied. So we've got a team of about 18 engineers here looking after all of the engines throughout the course of the week.
Yeah, and I don't want any favouritism, but of all the drivers you're running this weekend, who's impressed you most?
I think Rossi's done a good job. He's his first time in a sports car. Obviously, he's a single-seater guy. He's a young guy, up and coming, but I think he's done an excellent job, really. And, of course, Ollie Turvey as well at Jota. Fantastic.
Another rookie.
Another rookie, so he's done a great job. And I think Simon Dolan as well, he's done a brilliant job. Simon's obviously not a professional driver, and I think he's done an excellent job throughout the course of the race so far.
Look, as we talk, you've popped back up onto the podium.
Indeed.
Michael Krum in your Zytek, Nissan Zytek, and I mean, we've been watching that car, obviously, because of the PlayStation element, and Jan Mardenborough has impressed us so much in the commentary box.
I think, again, they've ran a faultless race. You know, they've been very consistent. They've had good pace, so I think, they've done very, very well indeed. Yeah.
Now, Ian Wagstaff, who does your PR for you, he and I are both on the panel of the Guild of Motoring Writers Young Driver of the Year award every year, and it's certainly, I think, a couple of the drivers here today will be near the top of our list.
I think there's some good,
will be one of them.
Indeed, I think there's some good candidates there, absolutely. Yeah.
John Manchester, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We'll let you get back to all your cars, all your engines. You've got a lot of work on still, and we've still got, 3 hours 57 to go.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers, Mark. Bye-bye.
So Audi then watching progress of the number 2 car, Loic Duval on board. He won't be staying on that car till the end, despite the fact he's French, because he will run out of hours, only 4 hours in any 6, and he has been in that car now since about 30 minutes ago. So there will be a final change. Carlton suggesting that Tom Christensen would be the obvious candidate. He's a Danish driver, and what better tribute for a Danish driver to win Le Mans for a 9th year?
Yeah, and double tribute actually, because not only winning for his 9th year, but it would be such a moving and fitting tribute to his fellow countryman Alan Simonson, who unfortunately succumbed to his injuries early in this race.
Well, look at this, guys, the number 13 car. This is the car that we wondered would we ever see again. So much damage at the front, it's wheeled out of the garage.
It's an absolute credit to them, actually. It's running in 32nd place. As we speak, they're going to finish, and that lovely red, gold and black Rebellion livery is back on course. Kind of a mix between the JPS and the gold leaf livery of old.
Yeah,
it's quite spectacular.
And it's still got the Lotus badging on it, despite the fact there is no Lotus connection really anymore on that car. But that number 13 car, Andrea Bellici put that in the wall, didn't he? And Matthias Besch and Kong Fu Cheng, well, one of those two surely will have taken it over, because Bellici was being treated by the doctor.
Here we go, the lead car coming in, and this will be the changeover. And I cannot believe that Tom Christensen is not going to get in this car.
Well, they've only just changed.
At some point, yeah, exactly. Well, is he going to come out and...
No, I think Rock will stay in for 1 or 2 more hours, and then Tom will take over for the final 2.
There we are.
I think.
Yes,
I'm not calling the shots there.
Yes, exactly. Well, they've got enough of a cushion to actually make that second stop, so why not? Have they done 10 laps coming back to that, do you know, guys?
Not sure, actually.
To write down their last lap.
We don't have Jeremy Shaw, the human computer here, who saw our scratch up.
Run out of ink.
And look how perverse, the sun is out again here, but we've just been told drizzling on the far side of the circuit. So
amazing. That's what we were saying about having a compromised choice when you have such a big circuit here. It's not just about setup, whether you go for downforce or out-and-out speed, or get yourself through those technical sections or go for the faster sections. It's about what rubber you wear. And indeed, indeed how your contact patch actually matches the surface here, which is so difficult to read because it's vast, isn't it?
Well, you just saw the difference. I mean, the tyres are just so important, and you know, I keep alluding to it, but the Toyotas, the advantage they had at the start, just because they were on another slick that operated at a lower temperature. Both the Audis and Toyotas, incidentally, running Michelin tyres, but fantastic. Yeah, just a fantastic choice by Toyota at the beginning, but yeah, they didn't do that since.
That's the number 8 car of Sarrazin we're watching at the moment, but the number 7 car, we've just been told, no problem, don't worry, don't panic, but Pascal Vasseron of Toyota has said car 7 is definitely under pressure from De Grassi and the Audi, and the fight will be interesting to follow. We're currently unable to match Trellier's speed, but even as he said that, the gap was 19 seconds, it's just opened up to 20, so he's gained a second on that last lap. And my goodness gracious, who's this? Someone from Status, and it's Johnny Molan. Johnny, hi. Great to have you back in the box. You were working here last year. Now you've become honest again in your driving.
Yes, nice to be back. I can see you've got as great a view as always here. That's fantastic. And it's nice to sort of walk in and see friendly faces. Carlton and I spent many hours last year keeping ourselves amused.
Well, you drank all my scotch, I know.
Easy. So, no, it's obviously unfortunate circumstances that sort of bring me back in here, but yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, so...
19 behind you.
Yeah, just... Well, Sarrazin saying he's a bit happier now. He's beginning to get some pace again. We're going to go for a commercial break. When we come back, going to have a chat with Johnny about how his race went with the HVM Status. Canadian entry this year, showing of Jonathan Hershey and Tony Burgess, of course, the Canadian, and Johnny having, I think, his 8th Le Mans 24 hours, if I got that right. Anyway, Johnny, back in a moment with you. We'll just get these messages. Stay with us live on Eurosport. Still 3 hours 50 to go.
Quasiment identique avec l'idée Wilson.
Back with Eurosport, it's 3 hours 50 still to go. The clock has just gone past 11 o'clock in the morning.
16 seconds in front. 16 seconds in front.
Roger.
Right, that's Luca Di Grassi being told the Toyota's 16 seconds ahead now. This is for third place against Nakajima in that Toyota. The gap was 20 seconds. It's starting to come down. We've got sunshine. It's Loc Duval leading for Audi, and in LMP2 the status quo has been resumed with Martin Plowman, Alex Brundle and Michael Krum, 1, 2 and 3. All those cars, Zytac Nissan engine. Talking of status GP and HVM got together for this race. HVM, of course, one of the IndyCar teams, and Johnny Molam has been racing for them this year instead of doing what he should be doing, which is Eurosport duties in the commentary box. Johnny, a great race until 2:19 this morning.
Yeah, well, it was character building week, I have to say. In fact, funnily enough, I was talking to Liz in the pit lane about it, and the time that set our qualifying time was actually the very first flying lap that I did in official practice, which is unheard of for that to be actually the quickest time that you set in the 2 practice days. But as I'm sure you've been talking about a lot, certainly at the beginning of the race, the number of red flags in practice and the weather was just crazy, and so we moved forward. We did a good first two hours, got up into the sort of top 10 in LMP2, and then dropped back, being caught out by the wrong tyres at the wrong time of the conditions, and we were coming back up again. I'm not saying we would have finished on the podium, because I think that's highly unlikely, but I think we would have got into the top 8, maybe top 6 by the finish, the way we were going, and just very unfortunate that Tony had a really nasty accident in the Porsche curves. He's got taken to hospital, but he's apparently absolutely fine and just being kept in until midday today for observation.
Been a very damaging race throughout, hasn't it? And I mean, as much as anything to the guardrails here. What's your feelings on that, Johnny?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because obviously, I'm not, I love Le Mans, but Le Mans has been very cruel, I think, this particular one, and I won't be looking back fondly, and this isn't just because of Tony, but obviously what happened with Alan Simonson. I won't be looking back at all fondly on this race, and it's I'm not portioning blame to anyone or anything, but it's just when things like that go wrong, it's horrific.
And as Liz will confirm, I mean, sports car racing is a family. It's one big family, isn't it? The World Sports Car Championship, Le Mans, we're all friends, everyone knows each other, and when one person gets hurt, everybody suffers.
No, it is very, very difficult, and I think it's hard for everyone when something like that happens on the track that you were driving on, in a circuit that everyone loves and that Alan loved. And yeah, I think it's I think they made the right decision to just say, right, we're going to pull ourselves together and try and win it for him, because that's what he would have wanted, and I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, apparently I heard that his family said, please go out and win it for him. So, quite clearly, it must have been a very difficult decision to take. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, and it is terrible. And I found out literally after I did a triple stint at the start of the race to start it, and obviously I saw the accident, and I knew it was pretty bad from the everything was there, but you never think it's that bad. But I found out when I got out of the car, and it's funny at that point, obviously you try not to think about it because you're in the race, and you just can't allow yourself to get too. And then in the minute that we were out of the race, albeit that was, I don't know, nearly 12 hours later, funnily the first thing that I started thinking about was that. So it's awful, and my heart goes out to his family and everybody, all his friends.
As do all of ours, and that's the thing. HVM then, status. Will this program continue in the World Endurance Championship after this race?
I believe that their plan is to continue in the European Le Mans Series and also do selected WEC rounds and maybe even Petit Le Mans at the end of the year. But as always, these plans are fluid, as you know, in motorsport. My deal with them is only for Le Mans. Right. So I was only ever brought in to sort of help them at Le Mans. And then I'm actually continuing with my Ram Racing European Le Mans Series with the Ferrari, and also doing selected LMP1 races. In fact, I'm flying on Wednesday to Road Atlanta. I got a 2-day test in the Dyson LMP1 car. In fact, Tony was going to be there as well, but I suspect he may not be there now, seeing he's obviously got a bit of a concussion. But yeah,
very good point, Rich.
Yeah, it always helps if you disconnect the fuel hose before you try and pull out the pit lane. Yeah.
Whoa.
Well done to stop them. Do you remember the old days in Group C with the fuel churns on the side? They'd go trundling up the pit lane, and then the fuel churn would fall off. DTM as well, that happened.
Yes. Didn't they get done for an...
Oh, my
I was just about to say, didn't they get done for an unsafe release already?
Oh, my
I was just saying it, and then that happened. So I think you can safely say that that car will be taking probably a very long penalty.
Oh, dear,
oh my goodness.
That's such a shame.
That was an Italian pit stop extraordinaire.
But he was holding him then. I don't understand, because he was holding him.
And he kept
stopped him going, and if he'd gone when he was going to go, he would have been out of the way. But he held him. I've noticed that sometimes you have mechanics that are holding you don't actually judge very well the cars that are coming, because when you're pulling out, you can actually get out pretty quickly. So you can start pulling away when they're still 15 meters away from you. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh my goodness. And it's not something you expect to see at Le Mans, although I've actually had a collision in pit lane at Le Mans, the same sort of thing. I had somebody drive into the side of me being released early, and you're sitting there thinking, what's going on? It's Le Mans, this shouldn't happen. There we go, it still does.
There you go, pit lane release of car 51 under investigation. So I don't think there's any doubt that that is going to be unsafe release, and there will be a penalty.
I think they're listening to you on Eurosport, Johnny. They picked up immediately. So, well done, Johnny. Well, thank you very much for coming on, having a chat with us. And
it's good to be here, and thanks. I must admit, thank you. Can I just say thank you to everyone that's tweeted saying they wanted me to get down here and say hello and everything, and being very, very complimentary about what I did last year. So anyone that's listening, thank you very much indeed.
Any personal shouts you want to make?
Not really.
Not really. Good. You've done
I think everyone that knows me knows that I'm about to go home. So,
okay, we'll have a safe journey home.
And good luck for the rest of the race to everybody, and I hope it goes well and safely to the end.
Is it true you pedal cycling the whole way home?
Absolutely. I'm not Bob Wallach. You know.
Hitchhiking, surely.
Yeah. Johnny Molam, thank you very much for being with us, and
thanks, Johnny.
All the best. Well, Martin Haven is back down from his ivory tower, or wherever he's been, and Martin looking very spruce now, pink shirt, all terribly impressed. And Liz, under 4 hours to go now, 3 hours 43, and this is probably the worst time for the mechanics. Just having, look at that, that was a hard hit actually, wasn't it, just as he came in.
Just ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. I hope that Jacques Nicolet car hasn't suffered too much damage from that, or indeed the Ferrari at the front.
He's going out now, so hopefully that's been all right. But
well, there was nothing about that wasn't Fred Carno's army. As you say, the mechanic was holding him, waiting for the perfect moment to release him right into the side. And of course, the driver is blind, cannot see in the mirrors with a HANS device, cannot turn his head, has to absolutely rely, like a Formula 1 driver, on the guy releasing him, who, as Johnny said, plainly had no idea exactly what he was doing.
And of course, that car is covered in stop signs, so why didn't he pay attention?
Yeah, it's definitely bright, that's
maybe
for sure.
Maybe he saw the give way. And the other thing, of course, is it has torn their fuel rig to pieces, and we're not at the last pit stop. We've got another 3 hours 45 to go. They're going to need at least 2 more stops. It ripped the hose clear off and took the guy who was trying to fuel the car with it. Why the driver thought he was good to go, Lord only knows, because he was still hooked up to the umbilical cord.
It may have just been a breakdown of communication. It might have been we didn't see all of it. It may have been that you know, one of the mechanics mistakenly released him without thinking the guy had pulled it off yet. We don't know. We didn't see it, unfortunately. But I can say, having been down in the pits, that there's a lot of nervous people in the Toyota garage. They are very much focused on the job right now. Nobody wants to come and talk to us. They're just very, very focused. And I think they know there's a possibility that if Audi slips up at all, they could take this race. But they have to be completely focused on the job in order to do it.
I mean, they've still got 2 cars running after all this time. And
it's incredible. It's fantastic. It's what we always hoped for. We wanted them to stay at the front and have a fight, albeit, you know, there's a significant lead from the Audi number 2 car, but not as much as we thought there would be.
Still only 11 retirements, and the record of the smallest number of retirements for any Le Mans 24-hour race is 16. Apart from the first ever race in 1923, when only 3 cars retired, but that, again, slightly different. So, record number of safety cars. Incidentally, time lost to safety cars tied to the minute with the all-time record.
Oh, really? That was 4 hours,
minute.
4 hours 53.
4 hours 53 minutes is how much we've lost behind safety cars so far in this race.
Right.
A little bit of sun out at the moment.
few dark clouds around as well. It's not beyond the bounds of possibility that we're going to have all sorts of records that aren't really the kind that you want in one race.
So Daniel Passner will no doubt, so he gets a clean and rest of race, will put out a sign saying any car that crashes will be excluded from now on.
Yeah, he just ought to be a sign on the screen from race control permanently squirreling along. Please remember, avoid crashing at all costs.
Yeah, easier said than done.
But, you know, it is a race, and it does underline that these cars are being driven absolutely at their physical limit at all times. They're not within 60 or 70%. They're not going round at a delta time to preserve their tyres. Preserving their tyres is the very last thing they're doing. They are flailing them as hard as they can, and every other part of the car. This is all-out sprint racing. This is Formula One qualifying for a day and a night.
Driver change for the number 8 car. That's Anthony Davidson getting in, replacing Stefan Saracen, who's just done a very long stint in that car. And like I say, I think Toyota is 100% focused on the job ahead. That's all they're thinking about. The boys on the pit wall, a technical director, they're completely glued to the screens. They don't even want to turn around, let alone do anything else. So I think they're just praying that something will come their way.
More black sky.
10 minutes, there's some rain coming. I'll keep you updated.
That is Howden Haynes telling the number 3 Audi more rain on the way. Not what Ollie Jarvis will want to hear, and if he's hearing that message, everyone else will be hearing that message from their weather services very soon.
Toyota reckon to have the best meteo here at Le Mans, and we've been following much of their meteo advice, and it's proved very, very good indeed, hasn't it? But we saw for ourselves just before Howden said that those black clouds are building up again. Right, going down for an interview.
Stefan Sarrazin just coming out of the car. How was it out there?
Yeah, it's okay. It was very difficult stints because rain came and it was full wet on the slick, so we managed almost well, and after safety car came for the crash, so we did many laps under safety car, and it was better for the security point of view also. So nothing special. We keep pushing, but Audi are a bit quicker than us, so we have nothing to do. Just don't give up.
So what is the plan until the end now?
Anto is going 100%, save at the end, I hope. And I hope we finish very well the race.
Okay, thank you very much.
Liz, 110% to the end.
I think they have to. I mean, why not? At the end of the day, I think if Toyota backed off for some reason, they'd always wonder what if. I think now they have to be sprinting. Like you said before, it is like qualifying now for these guys, but difficult conditions. We can see the clouds here. They're saying rain in 10 more minutes, and I believe it. I was thinking that when I was out on the pit wall. I was saying to my camera guy, going, the rain's coming back. You can feel the wind. It's going to be a tricky end of this race.
Yeah. You can feel the temperature drop, the wind picks up. You know, it's got all the classic hallmarks. Another clinical stop produced by the Toyota team, and their second car is on pit road. We will have a small stop ourselves. Welcome back to Eurosport's live coverage of the 2013 Le Mans 24 Hours. Kit Kat break here in the studio. Martin Haven, Liz Halliday, and in about another 2 fingers, Mark Cole will join us again as we continue counting down the final 4 hours of what has been, in all ways, a very strange and bizarre race. Look at the sky overhead, Liz Halliday. There's a little peak of blue. There's grey, there's heavy leaden clouds, there is more rain in the air, yet more rain in the air.
And it is... Box this lap, full service.
So you hear that there, full service there for the #1 car. Andre Lotterer is planning to get into that car. We just saw him warming up, flexing his hands and just getting himself prepared for a final push towards the end to try and catch up a bit more. Oh no, there's a Corvette in the garage. Oh no, it's a Ferrari.
It's the BMW.
Yeah. Saw that it was yellow and assumed.
125
looks like
years.
It's going to make it back out.
Yeah. Yellow flag, fittingly, for the JMW Ferrari. That was wrecked heavily early on, wasn't it, as well?
That will spread a lot of gravel and debris across the circuit. That's not good. Here comes the #1 car.
Yep.
Full service and a driver change. And when is the rain going to come? It's heavy wind outside. It's very, very cold. Much colder than we were earlier in the week, and a really thick headwind, so I think there is rain to come still.
Okay, here we go. Car's out of contention now, correct? 5th place, several laps behind. So, what do? You've got to use him as your banker. Do you now, A, assume it's going to rain and put him on a super soft or a soft tyre to try and sit out the rain and hopefully climb up a little bit as if the others have to pit, or you can't put him on a wet tyre now. So he's gone on a non-grooved tyre, but Michelin's wet and very wet tyre are grooved. Their intermediate quote is a super soft tyre. Now, Audi were caught by Toyota early on in the race when it was greasy, because they stayed on a hard daytime tyre and Toyota started on a soft nighttime tyre, which worked better in the greasy conditions, but then dropped off. What are they going to do? What are they going to use this car to do?
That is the Inter, because that's the wider white band on that tyre.
Right, so they've gone super soft in case it rains.
I think that's clever. I think that's the right decision.
And also because they're due for a driver change anyway. He'll now drive to the end, Andre Lotterer, whatever else. So now the question comes is when, how and why do you place your other cars, #3 and #2, the race leader? Because you've now got 3 different hands you can play. One of them might win, and the only one you can really go conservative with, as rain is on our window in the commentary box.
It's arrived all around the track.
The only one you can go conservative with, follow the weather whiz, is the one that currently holds the lead, the #2 car.
And in that car, they were planning to have Benoit Trillier finish the race. That's what he said in the interview. So we'll have to keep our eyes open and see what they plan to do. But it is raining. This could change a lot of things. Yep. And that's a clever move for that #1 car. If they've gone on the Inters, that's exactly what they should be on.
And of course, Lotterer can report back to the team on how effective it is working, how effectively it's working.
Timing fell into their laps. I'm sure they've used that tyre at other greasy stages during the race. They didn't at the beginning. I'm sure they've got that information now, so I thought we'd just about hear team radio. So Ollie Jarvis in 4th place. Rain reported around the track of that. Well, we're getting some of it. They're getting some in the pit lane. And predominantly, the weather has come from Arnage, Indianapolis area. So what are we seeing here? Yeah, wipers are on, water on the screen, coming down to Indianapolis. Again, same area. This is the prevailing weather coming in from the Arnage area.
It's just that light, misty rain, the sort that makes the circuit very, very greasy. A lot of the drivers I've been talking to have said, you know, it'd be easier if it was just wet or dry, but having this weird in-between sort of mixed conditions is actually the hardest conditions to drive any race car in.
Look how much the Toyota is off the pace. That car should be leaning on itself as it comes through the Porsche curves. He was, what, 60% of race speed, if that, probably.
And making sure that he wasn't getting on the curbs, because they will be very slippery. We've seen a few cars get caught out by that. If you watch the lines they're taking now,